Hey everybody, thanks for joining in. Hope you're having a great week. I just want to make a quick video and talk about the Jets game against the Cardinals this Sunday. As you guys all know, the Jets are going out to the desert to play the Arizona Cardinals. The Jets are sitting at 3-6. The Cardinals are sitting actually in first place in the NFC West at 5-4. And they don't look too bad, the Cardinals. I'll be honest with you. They look like they're hanging in there. They've had some good wins. They've beaten the Bears, the 49ers, and they even held their own against like the Lions. So the Cardinals aren't looking too bad. The offense is clicking. I think they got a top 10 offense right now. And the defense is very much, it's kind of like the Jets. It's kind of very mid. You know, they have good games. They have little iffy games. But they're playing pretty good ball. Right now, the Jets are sitting at 3-6. We all know that. And they beat the Houston Texans last Sunday in a game that I still have a little bit doubts of, like, and I'm sure every other Jet fan does. Let's kind of break down that win last week, and then we'll get into this next game here. The Texans were a beat up team. I mean, this is a beat up team on defense, on offense. So the Jets beat them. They won. A win is always a great thing. It's better than losing. But they did beat up a beat up team. So, I want to start there first. And the catches, this is important to me that I think everybody's is kind of looking past. Like, Garrett Wilson made two phenomenal catches. The first one was a great one-handed grab. It was a wide throw. Granted, it was thrown only place he could catch it, but it was really outside. He reached out his right hand, snagged it, and the defender was just burned, and off he went for the touchdown. And the second touchdown was just a spectacular grab. Everybody remembers that. They're still talking about it, showing it. It was a spectacular grab, but it was a crappy throw. That was not a good pass. Any 9 out of 10 receivers would have never thought of catching that ball. And the fact that he came down with his shin in before his knee, that could have gone either way too. That could have been nothing more than a fancy catch with an incomplete pass instead of a touchdown. So those two things alone there make me just a little bit worried. Like, okay, if he doesn't make those grabs, like in any other game, maybe he don't make those catches. They could have lost that game. So everybody's kind of like getting too excited. There are some Jet fans out there, like some of my friends, are like, yeah, let's not get too hyped up here. That was, those catches in that game. Yes, they won, but they beat a team that was really, really kind of had a lot of injuries. So, that being said, let's talk first about the Cardinals now. Let me take on the Cardinals first here. Like I said earlier, they're 5-4. They're actually at top of the NFC West. So, like here's the running game of the Cardinals, I think, is what they're going to have to stick to here. John Connor has been just having 2 or 3 great games lately in a row. And as I said last week in last week's video, the Jets are going to have a hard time with Joe Mixon, and they did. He ran for over 100 yards. They still won the game, but he basically was running the ball over him. And I think that John Connor is as good or maybe even better because the Cardinals have a better front line than the Texans do. So, Jets are going to have a hard time stopping Connor running. He's going to have probably 90 or 100 yards rushing. That's going to be a big problem for them. 1. 2 is, Kyler Murray. Now, he's not the greatest passer in the world, but he's very good. He's very, very good. He can find the open guy and get the ball down the field. The thing about him that worries me more than his passing is his scrambling. Because if you watch every time that when the Jets play a team like the Bills or somebody that has a quarterback like that, like Josh Allen, that's why they beat them all the time, is because his running. When he don't have nothing, he scrambles. And the Jets have a hell of a time containing that guy. And I think that's going to be a big problem this Sunday as well with Kyler Murray. I think he's a little bit slippery than Josh Allen. If you want my opinion, Allen's a big kid, I mean, he's got the strength and the athleticism that maybe Kyler don't have. But Kyler's quick, and he's a smaller guy. He's hard to get a hold of. And the Jets have an awful time containing the quarterbacks that do that to them. And when he gets out of there, when he starts to run or when they break coverage, then he hits somebody that's open. And I think that's going to be a big problem. So that's 2 things I think that are going to be a big issue with the Jets this Sunday, in Arizona. The Jets offense, on the other hand, played a good half. But as I continue to remind everybody, this team has literally played 1 good half of football in 5 games. 1 good half of football in 5 games. It's a little too early for me to start planning my Super Bowl trip because other than that, they haven't shown anybody anything. They've been terrible. And if we all recall, in the first half of that game, they were awful. They couldn't do anything right. They came out in the second half. I don't know where it came from, but they were at least playing. So I'm just not ready to buy into them yet with that one half of a performance against a team that was beat up. So the Jets defense, let's go to them. They have a hell of a time stopping the run. Now, I know Hassan Reddick is back, and he's taken a lot of the heat off Quinnen Williams. The Jets now, I think, are like second in the league in sacks. They got like 8 sacks last week. So with the addition of him, I think the teams are going to have to focus on him, which may be taking some double teaming off of Quinnen and the other guys. So maybe the defense is getting a little bit in there. And Reddick, he's still kind of getting his bearings with the Jets. I get all that. But they still having a hard time stopping the run. And John Connor, I think, is going to have a day running against them, probably at 90 to 100 yards rushing. That's going to be a problem. The secondary for the Jets, I'm still kind of up in the air on them. Sauce just hasn't looked his self this season. He's getting burned. They're getting penalties out there. I just don't know. I don't see him. I just don't see them stopping anything really. I don't think the Cardinals are going to whip up 40 points on them, but I do think it's going to be a problem with the things I mentioned before. The run game, which opens up the pass, and even when they have coverage, Kyler Murray is very hard to get a hold of. When they break coverage, he finds somebody, and this is how they're 5-4 for a reason. They're not that bad. They're not the team we used to kick around for years anymore. They're pretty good. So that all being said, and I'm just not convinced on the Jets right now. If they come out there and have another stinker as an offense, the defense just seems to give up sometimes. At the first sign of adversity, these guys are ready to just say, hey, we lost. We can't do this. I'm afraid of that happening again. And the Jets are never really that good out on the West Coast. The last time, maybe Denver a couple years ago, maybe last year, but they even had a hard time doing that. So, I don't know. I as much as it pains me to say this, I don't think the Jets are going to win this ball game. I could see the Cardinals maybe putting up 24, 27 points. Maybe the Jets might get 14, 17, 20 if they're lucky. I just don't think the Jets are going to be able to win this game. And a loss this Sunday would make them 3-7. I thought their season was over and they had 5 losses. I said, this is no way this team's going to string together wins, have 9, 10 wins. They just weren't. Then they lost again. They went to 2-6. They won last week, now 3-6. I still think the season's over. I think anybody who thinks otherwise, listen, it's good to be hopeful. And it's good to be a fan and be positive thinking. I'm just trying to I'm more realistic about it. I don't think the Jets are going anywhere this year. I think they're just going to maybe play a decent game, maybe a good game, maybe hang in there. But at the end of the day, losing is losing. And I don't think they're going to be able to beat the Cardinals this Sunday. And they'll drop to 3-7, and then we can just hopefully everybody can just stop the playoff talk, stop the what if, maybes. What if we can't do jack shit at 3-7. They're out of it, and let's start talking about next year already. It's painful to say, but yeah, if they lose this game, now if they win to go 4-6, well, hey, maybe there's something here. They got the Colts, who aren't going to be an easy win. Then they got their bye week to maybe get their shit together. The Bills still, the Dolphins twice, Seattle. Seattle's a very beatable team, but out there, it's tough. It's tough out there. So, but let's see what happens first. But anyway, my prediction, as painful it is to say, I don't think the Jets are going to win. They're going to drop to 3-7, and we'll be discussing what next year's team is going to look like, and what we might have. So anyway, I appreciate everybody joining in, listening. And also, by the way, I appreciate the comments I've been getting lately. I like to see people getting involved and telling me what they think as opposed to what I think. Everything I say is only just my opinion. That's all it is. It doesn't mean jack shit at the end of the day. So I like to hear what other people think about my videos, about what I say. So I appreciate that. And I really do comment back on everybody when I can get to it. If I haven't, it's not that I'm ignoring it. It takes me a little while. But I will try to get back to everybody's comments. I appreciate it. And hit that like button if you enjoyed my video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a great deal. I really appreciate all of you guys. And I'll be talking to you guys really soon. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.